just getting started here this morning. What I've done is I've sent the files this morning, and I thought for this first kind of 10-minute videotape, if you will, we would go over the dynamics or the overview of the special event. What I'd like to do then separately is just send a deck out to the team that will just bullet point the most common questions, and we can go over those while we're on the phone today, and just a brief overview of each product, each of the 5 items. That is not in the 2 files that I just sent this morning. So kind of taking this in 2 phases, and then that way too, if we need to set up another call in terms of drilling down on the product, we certainly can, or if the team just wants to call me specifically with any questions, we can do that too. So why don't we start with the first PDF that was attached to the email, and that's the one that's 16-0311 GW for Greenworks, Costco SE for special events training.
Okay, that's what Roy has on the screen. I think we're good.
Okay, there are 12 slides. So the first slide, my contact information is in the lower left. You can feel free to call me at any point if you have any questions or if there are any comments in terms of the special event. Now, Jim, do we need to kind of go through the dynamics in terms of calling the day before for the setup, or has that all been addressed?
It's all been addressed, but I'd like you to go over excuse me, I'd like you to go over it anyway, because we do have the folks that are going to be handling this project throughout, so I'd like them to hear it from you directly.
Okay, not a problem. So basically, Costco has what's called a special events team. It is a separate buying team outside of the product that is in the stores. If you've been to a Costco before and see the Vitamix guy or the KitchenAid person, or another popular one is floor mats, so auto detailing where there's an agent standing at the end of the aisle. That's part of the Costco special event. These events run for 10 days. They start on a Friday and end on the second Sunday. So what you're going to see as you're running through the special event, that the foot traffic and the sales will certainly increase by the second weekend. So as the Costco member, and that's what they're referred to, as the Costco member shops the second weekend and sees the product, the sales will certainly increase. So again, my contact information is in the lower left. You can give me a call at any point. Greenworks is the leading manufacturer of cordless outdoor power tools. So Greenworks, what that means is with our 80-volt battery system, you can achieve true gas performance in cordless product. That's why we've been chosen with our technology and advancements in terms of our product. That's why we've been chosen for Costco to demo these products in their stores. So if you go to the second slide, 2016, that's a display rendering actually of what we had for 2015, excuse me. We had participated in special events last year, and we were asked back for this year's run. So that's kind of a rendering of what we look like, or what our space looked like in store last year. It's going to look a little different if you go to slide 3 for this year. So instead of the table and instead of the table with the skirt and just displaying the tools on the table and displaying the TV on the table, we have a wire racking that's shown in the image on the right, where the TV will be affixed to it and the tools will hang there for display. Also in the lower left, the DeWalt piece is just an example. We will have an acrylic cube that is Greenworks branded to demonstrate the blower. Okay, so the blower is the only tool. Let's go over safety right now, because this is really important. Costco is absolutely critical in terms of safety for not only ourselves, but the Costco members. Last year, we were not allowed to turn on any tools within the store. However, this year with the acrylic cube, we're able to demonstrate only the blower. So the tools that are going to be displayed on the racking on the right-hand side are not allowed to be powered on with the exception of the blower. And how that works is there will be an opening, as you can see on the lower left. There'll be a hole in the back of the opening to where the tip of the blower will be inserted, and only then can the tool be engaged or turned on. It can certainly be handed over to the member or the Costco member as well, but the tool has to be, inserted in the cube for that to happen. It cannot be engaged outside of the cube whatsoever. Anytime there is no one manning the booth, if you will, the live battery, the battery that's used to power that blower needs to be removed from the area. So it's not possible for anyone to turn on any of the tools in the store. Keep in mind, we have a string trimmer that could cause a laceration. We have a hedge trimmer that could clip off a finger. We have a chainsaw that could easily remove a limb. So it is critical that safety be our number one concern and priority. I would rather not sell one piece and have this demo come off without a hitch than have somebody run the risk of being injured. Is everyone clear? Okay, great.
If there's any questions on this point, that's a very, very important point. Anyone from the field, you have any questions at all during this, let's surface them.
This is Eunice. I have one question. Will you be supplying safety goggles for the associate as well as anybody trying to use the equipment?
So no safety goggles will be supplied with the acrylic cube, and certainly it'll be self-explanatory when you see it in person. The tip of the blower will go into the cube, and at that point you can engage the tool, and it's just safely blowing forced air in the cube only. So the likelihood of any type of debris in the air catching someone in the eye is reduced by the cube. Costco did sign off on this display. We've done millions of these shows before, and as we talked on our last call, the reason why we've invented or came up with this cube is that we've seen a dozen times that when a customer gets the blower in their hands, the first thing they do is aim it at their buddy or the person that they're shopping with and blow it in their face. This is a working warehouse to where there are particles and pallet shards and everything else that could be on the ground or in the air. That's why it's critical to make sure that the tube, not necessarily fully inserted, but the tube of the blower is inserted into the cube before it's engaged. If there's any question that the person that we're talking to at the store level might, go rogue, then certainly it is up to the staffing agent's discretion not to hand over the tube, the blower for demo purposes. What you'll find is
I'm looking at this cube now, and it looks like it's vented. Is it vented, or when you're putting the tip in there and the air is going through, does that get vented out, or tell me how that works?
Sure. So our cube looks a little different, and we've decided not to have any of the artificial leaves in our cube. So it will be empty, and there's going to be venting, not in the front or the back, but along the top, around the sides and the front. So there will be small holes for the air to escape. It's certainly not, it's waist level. It's certainly not eye level. And what this does is it causes the air to go out the sides and the front and not come right back out to the user in the area where the tube is inserted into the cube.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
Right, and here's the thing. These get to the floor, and if there is any concern about safety or the agent doesn't feel comfortable demoing the blower with the cube, then just set the cube aside and eliminate engaging the tool inside the store. No one's saying that we have to do this. Certainly, we ran the Costco special events last year with these same tools. and we didn't demo them in the store at all. We're just trying to come up with a solution to try to convey with more than just verbiage on the true gas-like performance of these tools. Okay, so getting to the display piece, again, in the upper left, it'll look slightly different because we're going to have the racking. If you go to the next slide, slide 4, this is the load-in. So there's going to be 4 pallets broken down as displayed here on this page, and it will remain consistent for all 12 special events. So the special event starts on a Friday. This product will land at the store either Tuesday or Wednesday prior to the Friday. It is up to the agent to call the store on Thursday, notify them that the special event starts the next day, and ask the store associate or the store manager when they could come in to set up the booth. So the booth or the display has to be set up the Thursday before the Friday event, okay? So whenever, and it's going to vary per store, Costco gives their stores some leeway here. So whatever we're told we can go in and begin the setup is when we do. If it's at 8 p.m. or 7 p.m. or after hours, whatever they convey is when we'll do that. When you enter the store, you'll enter through the exit, go to the service desk, introduce yourself, tell them that you're here for the setup for the Costco special event. You'll locate these 4 pallets in the logistics or the receiving area, which is in the back corner of the store. Again, the layout of the store varies. At that point, too, the store associate at Costco or the store manager will be the one that advises where our booth is going to go or where our display is going to be positioned. It will vary from store to store. Last year, again, we did 26 of these, and we were usually in the inner racetrack, if you will, which is kind of like the center section of the store where they have a lot of seasonal products. We were not on one of the end caps, per se, in front of the metal racking, but just on the opposite side where, if you've been to Costco, they have a lot of seasonality products in the center of the store. The product will be positioned on the end, and our booth will be set up right in front of that. And it is our job to engage the Costco members from opening till close for the 10 straight days. So if you, we can just continue on with this PowerPoint and then go to the next one. So you can see there will be 16 Greenworks Pro 80-volt string trimmers. There'll be 8 Greenworks Pro hedge trimmers. There'll be 8 Greenworks Pro 80-volt chainsaws. There'll be 2 Greenworks 21-inch lawnmowers and 16 of the axial fan blowers, Pallet 4 will contain all of the demo material. So that will be the demo tools that we're going to use to hang on the rack will be part of that pallet. So those tools will be designated demo. That way you don't have to open up any boxes or any new items. The acrylic cube or display box for the blower will be part of that. And please take note of how that is wrapped when it's received, and make sure that the materials that is wrapped in are saved and kept, because we have to send all of the unsold products and everything on pallet 4 back to our facility. The acrylic cube is again acrylic and can be easily scratched or damaged. There'll be 1 case of brochures. There's 1 pull-up or roll-up banner. There's the fixture. There'll be 100 Greenworks hats. Certainly, you feel free to take a hat. You could wear it throughout the special event. And then there'll be 1 fully functional battery and charger that we'll use to charge and engage the blower. And lastly, there'll be 1 TV that would be affixed to the display. So again, kind of in summary, The product will arrive Tuesday, Wednesday before the Friday the event starts. The agent calls the Costco store on Thursday morning to determine what time they'll be allowed to enter the store to configure the display and set it up. Friday it begins. It runs for 10 consecutive days. The second Sunday at the close of business is when the special event ends. And either that night after hours or the subsequent Monday, any unsold merchandise and everything that's quote unquote on pallet 4 needs to be repalletized and taken back to the receiving area at Costco for pickup by our trucks to send back to our warehouse. And we'll get into slightly a little bit more detail about that in a few moments. Slide 5. The 4 pallets will have this label on them to make it easily identifiable for both Costco and for us as we're entering the store. When we go back to the receiving area, our 4 pallets will probably be back there somewhere, and this is the label that we'll look for to identify what those pallets are. Just again, overall snapshot of what we're accomplishing here. We have 12 Costco special events featuring Greenworks Pro 80-volt outdoor power. The start date of the very first special event is March 18th. The length of the special event is 10 straight days. There are 12 events. The last one ends on July 3rd, and we're focusing on the regions in the Southeast and Midwest and the Northwest near the Costco headquarters. Slide 7. So these are the 5 items that we're demoing at the Costco special event. And as I said at the beginning of this call, I will send a second file shortly after this meeting and have it distributed to you. The one slide will be bullet points and really just a handful, 5 maybe, of the talking points to engage the customer. True gas-like performance, 80-volt, highest voltage in the industry, the battery charges in 30 minutes, etc. And then after that, I'll just have one slide per item so you can kind of memorize and get the gist of the features and benefits of each tool. Just a little bit of memorization on 1 or 2 bullet points of each of the 5 tools will really go a long way to conveying this the message and the point to help selling this product at the store level. You're going to be asked or be told that, ask the same questions over and over again. So it's really easy just to commit these 5 to 10 bullet points to memory, and you'll be able to confidently engage the Costco member in conversation about the tools and the product. Just a note here on slide 7, it may be hard to read because it's small, but the far left column is the Costco item number. Costco, when you're doing your setup, they should ready signs for you that have the costing and the tool item ready, okay, for the display area. If they don't, you could use these Costco item numbers to provide to the Costco associate, and they will take those numbers and be able to print up the costing signs that will then be taped or attached above our display.
So Justin, are these? That was one of the questions I had. This is not carried by Costco currently, correct?
Correct. So great question. Anything that's part of a special event is something that is not carried in store every day. So this is a special opportunity for vendors that have something really innovative and unique to get their product kind of tested, if you will, at Costco. And then Costco takes these results from the special event and determines if it's something that should be put in all stores in line in the subsequent season. So the reason why we're going through this process yet a second time is because it is our goal to have a second successful test to have these items in line at Costco in all stores.
Okay, and so I see the Costco SKU numbers. So they're in their system, though. In other words, if somebody takes one to buy one, it'll come up when they go to ring it out, right?
Yeah, and yes,
Okay.
yes, and that what happens is Costco has a very advanced system to where they plug in the special event and assign it to the store. They know what the schedule is, and those SKUs will turn on at that particular store for a length of time, and they'll be active for a good, let's just say 30 days after the special event ends in the event that somebody wants to return an item.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Not a problem. So while we're still on slide 7, let's go over a brief overview of the tools. And again, I will recap this in a second file that we're sending out. Greenworks Pro, the 5 tools that you see here are battery operated. The battery is 80 volts. It's the highest voltage in the industry. With the 80 volts, you can achieve true gas performance in these tools. So that's kind of the most important thing. And with that, the battery charges in 30 minutes. Each tool is designed to run longer than 30 minutes. So the point being, if you have 2 tools and 2 batteries, you're using a battery, you're charging a battery at the same time. Use one, charge one, you have infinite runtime. The only thing you need to do is if the battery runs out, you stop and swap. Every one of these tools shown is sold with a battery and a rapid charger. The lawnmower actually comes with 2 batteries and a rapid charger. Okay, so you're going to probably get asked about runtime. The runtime for each one of these tools is about 45 minutes on a single battery, except for the lawnmower. The lawnmower is about 35 each battery. So between the 2 batteries, if you're not using one and charging one, you're about 70 minutes. 70 minutes is more than enough time to mow 80 to 90% of the lawns where people use a walk-behind mower, okay? But if you're using one and charging one, you have infinite runtime, okay? All of the product is hand-tightened or pre-assembled out of the box, except for the string trimmer, 8 Phillips screws. Because this is all battery, you could certainly talk to the Green Initiative. There is no gas. There's no gas-oil mix. There's no pull start. It's super easy and convenient. There's 0 maintenance. It literally is insert the battery, power on the tool, and pull the trigger, and you're on your way. All of these tools are commercial or professional grade, and again, are the same equivalent of gas. The battery has a power indicator, so at any point in time you could push the button and it'll light up to let you know how much kind of juice, if you will, is left. Really, the fuel is in the battery, if you will. And again, all of these tools look and are designed and perform just like a gas unit. One question that you may have is, will you lose power or performance as you're using the tool? And the answer is no. The batteries that are in these packs are the same battery cells that are used in the Tesla car. They're premium batteries, and what happens is it's going to run at full power till the very end, and then it's just going to die off. In other words, it will not lose power as you continue to use the tool and as it's losing its charge. Another question you may be asked is, do you have to run the battery dead before you recharge it? And the answer is no. You can use the tool for just a few minutes and throw the battery back in the charger and have it fully charged without harming the battery pack whatsoever. So, not to backtrack, but if you go back to slide 4, you see there's a modest assortment of product that is being loaded into the store. So the question is, what happens if I sell through the 2 mowers that I'm being sent? If you sell through, the goal is to sell through every single piece that you have that's being sent. There will not be any replenishment. Certainly, if you sell through on a Monday or Tuesday, please let me know. I mean, there might be a slim circumstance where we can get product to you depending on where the store is located. But our goal is to sell through and be clean, if you will, on all of this product. Again, whatever's left over, we'll have to A few things. If you happen to sell through and there's a few remaining pieces and it's only Wednesday or Thursday, Costco may decide that the special event is over because there's not enough product on the floor to have a robust display. And if that's the case, then we'll pack up the product and then we'll load it back to receiving, and then that special event will end for that particular store. That said, knowing how we performed last season, we feel comfortable that this is enough product to certainly get through the 10 days. Also, you're going to get a case of brochures. It's listed in the fourth pallet in 100 hats. We need that to kind of last the entire 10 days. So certainly hand those out to people that are interested, but if you're handing it out to every single person that walks by and just looks your way, we're going to run out of brochures and hats probably within the second or third day. So just be selective. Maybe ask somebody a question, or somebody that really engages us in conversation. Feel free to give them a hat and a brochure. I think what you're going to find is $300 or $400 is more than just an impulse buy. That, again, as a customer sees this product at their store the second time or later in the week, the sales will really start to ramp up and to pick up. So jumping ahead to slide 8, these are photos taken from last year's special event. The booth obviously looks a little different than it will this year because we're going to have the wire racking. What we're asking you to do is take what we call opening and closing photos. So as the product and the booth, if you will, is staged, we ask you to take a photo. And then at the end of the event, when the residual inventory is packed up on a pallet, and then also the display pallet along with the cube and the television is wrapped up on a pallet, we ask you to take a picture. Basically, we want to protect ourselves collectively from any theft that might occur at the store level. And also, too, want to make sure that the booth is properly set up. So if you go to slide 9, you can kind of ignore the sales piece on the right-hand side. That is my information that I provide. But also, what we love to see is photos of consumers actively engaged with the product or even the Costco associate. So feel free to take photos of folks engaged in conversation at any point, or if you're engaged in conversation with them and a Costco associate happens to walk by, feel free to have them take a photo with what would be your phone to again, provide feedback back to our folks because we continue to learn in terms of how this product performs and what customers' reaction is to the product at retail. So what that means is then slide 11, we ask to just kind of take notes throughout the 10 days and submit just a quick recap per store on what your thoughts were, what the common questions were, what the objections were, anything that you could think of that would be helpful for us to better go to market and better our chances to get this product widely distributed. I think you'll see that once you get the product in your hands and you engage the blower at the store level, that you'll understand the performance and the quality of this battery-operated product. Again, slide 12 is just another example of what an opening photo would look like and what a closing photo would look like. So that said, let's open the second file as it goes back to the opening and closing of the show. So that would be Greenworks display assembly instructions. This packet is going to ride with pallet 4, and it's designed to be helpful and serve as a checklist of everything that's part of the display pallet. As you scroll through the 10 pages, feel free to mark on this to check off everything that is included. You'll see then on the second page, there's a detailed step-by-step with photos, instructions on how to assemble the wire racking. The wire racking will go together with one person, but it probably would be helpful to have a Costco associate pitch in, and in terms of disassembling the wire racking as part of the teardown. We wanted to get this to you in advance, but again, this packet will ride on pallet 4. If you go to page 4, it talks about how to fire up the television and how to engage the memory card. The memory card is inserted into the television, and how to engage the video loop, and it will just play continuously. So Costco is supposed to provide an AC drop or an extension cord for the TV to be run, and then with that, as the battery needs to be charged, you'll need to unplug the television and plug in the battery charger to charge the battery. Okay, depending, that is a warehouse. It's kind of loud. I'm sure you don't want to have the volume cranked on this video loop, so you're struggling to talk over your presentation to the Costco member. Maybe low volume or no volume would be preferred. I'll certainly leave that up to each associate on what they think is best. Page 5 demonstrates how to assemble the roll-up banner. Page 6 is a teardown instruction, and again, feel free to tick off each box as you're going through. Page 7 is important. We would like to, obviously, our team has accounted for all of these items on the pallet 4, if you will, and as you're unpacking it, make sure that you note that they have been received and sign and date it, and then same thing, same sheet, but just on the way out, make sure that everything that has been received is on the pallet 4 to be sent back to us, signed and dated as well. So that's what the checklist and the sign and date forms are, just to make sure that the product is received and that you're also accounting for it on the way back to us. I know that this is a lot of information, and that's certainly why I kind of split it up between the overall piece of the special event and then also kind of drilling down to the tools. So as soon as this is over, I'll send a second deck out, and then I could leave it up to you, Jim and Nancy, if we want to have a second call early or mid next week to just go over the product and go over any questions that the team might have after reviewing the information that we just discussed.
Okay.
Are there any questions at this point? We certainly, your company came highly recommended, and we certainly appreciate all of the time and the effort. I know that I participated in the special events that we had last year. We used a different company as well. We wanted to give a new face and a new spin on these, and definitely, again, your company came highly recommended. This is going to be a lot of fun. We look forward to hearing all your feedback, and please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. Again, safety is absolutely the most important concern, and then obviously getting out there and presenting the Greenworks brand and the Greenworks product. Oh, I'm sorry, there was one last thing that I knew I wanted to address. If a customer, you're going to get folks that say, well, how long are you going to be here? You can certainly tell them that you're only here till, Sunday, such and such date, buy now type thing. If you're running low on product, or if a customer says, well, I'm not ready to buy, where can I buy these tools outside of the 10 days? Tell them that they could find all of these tools on Costco.com. So if you sell through something, you could certainly, hey, we have a mower too, we sold through it. You can find the lawnmower on Costco.com.
Excellent. Excellent job, Justin. Thank you very much. First of all, any questions at all? Anyone? Supervisors, reps, anybody? Okay, Roy, thoughts? Do you need anything more for your video, or how was that?
I'm good here, Jim. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay, great. Okay, if anyone has any questions after this call, if you come up with something later, you can always give me a call, shoot me an email. As soon as Justin sends that additional file, I will forward that to everyone. I did send these other files that we just went through to you earlier this morning, so you have them. Again, going once, going twice. Any further questions? Otherwise, this call is over.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Justin. Take care, everyone.
Take care.